And I say again without equivocating, all these other politicians, past and present, who have deliberately allowed our children to continue to roam in streets endlessly, are truly the cause of insecurity in Nigeria. So let us put the culpability where it should be. My special and urgent message to His Excellency Dr. Alex Otti, OFR, Executive Governor of Abia State. Your Excellency Dr. Alex, I bring you warm greetings as a proud son of Abia State and as the National Coordinator of the Human Rights Research and Advocacy Forum, HURRAFORUM. Let me begin with a sincere confession. For many years, particularly from 1999 until your emergence as governor, I often felt ashamed of the condition of my beloved Abia State. Like many Abians at home and in diaspora, I watched successive administrations struggle to deliver the basic dividends of governance. Many of us had almost believed that good governance is no longer possible until you came. Then you arrived and demonstrated something very profound, that governance is not rocket science. It's simply honest and disciplined management of public trust and public resources. Today, Abia State is becoming a reference point in Nigeria for accountability, infrastructure renewal, public service reforms, and purposeful leadership. Across the country, many now regard you as the most performing governor in Nigeria. However, among all the remarkable achievements recorded under your administration so far, there is one policy position that touched me more deeply than any road or bridges you have built. I watched a video where Your Excellency sternly declared that if any child of school age is found hawking on the street during school hours, that child will be removed from the street and the parent or guardian made to answer for that violation. When I heard these words, I stood up and applauded, because that is where true development begins. The foundation of every prosperous society is the education and protection of its young persons. Because political oppression, economic exploitation, and social subjugation thrive when societies neglect their children and when politicians intentionally weaponize ignorance. Here is the chain reaction. First, an uneducated child becomes a vulnerable adult. The vulnerable adult then becomes easy prey for manipulation, recruitment into violent extremism, kidnapping, and poverty. But a child who is educated from an early age begins to ask questions early enough. Such a child begins to understand rights, responsibilities, and accountability. Such a child grows into a citizen who demands performance from government and respects the rule of law. Your Excellency's position is fully consistent with the principles of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and the Child Rights Act 2003, and the Universal Basic Education Act 2004, Laws of Federation of Nigeria, and the Child Rights Law of Abia State. Yet, while we at the HURRAFORUM commend your courage, we also believe that enforcement alone is not enough. So to secure compliance fully, children must not only be protected, they must also be enlightened about these rights. Parents must be sensitized about these rights. Teachers must be empowered with the child rights education. And young persons must be armed with the knowledge of their rights and duties. That is why in 2013, I authored a textbook titled UHURU Children's Rights, a graphically illustrated, child-friendly civic education resource approved by the Nigerian Education Research and Development Council, NERDC. The foreword of that book was graciously written by Prof. Vincent Tenebe, the then Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, as at the time of publication. The afterword of the book was written by the learned Sikh, Chief Festus Keyamo, now the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development. The book has also received commendations from eminent jurists and human rights experts, including Chief Femi Falana SAN, Chief Awa Kalu SAN, Dr. of the National Human Rights Commission, and several other distinguished Nigerians. The textbook is specifically designed to teach young Nigerians their rights, their responsibilities, civic obligations, and respect for human dignity. I say this with every sense of responsibility, Your Excellency, that any child who genuinely understands and internalizes the lesson in this textbook can never become a terrorist, can never become a bandit, and will never become a kidnapper, cultist, or any social deviant. For years, my team and I have carried this message across Nigeria. We have visited 23 states. We have presented the textbook to the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, to governors, state universal basic education board chairmen, ministries, commissioners, first ladies, and policy makers. I personally presented its importance to Senator Thanko Al-Makura, former governor of Nasarawa State and current board chairman of the Universal Basic Education Commission. We made similar presentation through the office of the current Attorney General of Nasarawa State, the current Subeb leadership, the office of the Nasarawa State First Lady, and even at the palaces of the Sarikin Gudi and the Hakimi Gudi, the father and the elder brother of the current governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer A.M. Sule. In fact, one young nephew of the governor who read the textbook was astonished and asked a simple but powerful question, and I quote, "Why were we never taught these things in primary school?" That question Governor Sule's nephew asked still echoes in my mind today. Despite all the presentations and advocacy, despite the fact that many states have booklisted the text, none has deliberately placed this book in the hands of their children or in the hands of their teachers or the parents on a meaningful scale. Only Abia State, through Subeb and UBEC, obtained only 1,000 copies as library resource materials, and for that, Abia remained the only state that has taken even that modest step. We have even proposed the textbook to the office of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for adoption as a Nigerian National Children's Handbook. Yet, we still await action. And so I ask, are we still afraid to arm the next generation with knowledge of their rights? Are we afraid to raise children who will question injustice and challenge the status quo? Are we truly tired of terrorism, kidnapping, violence, cultism, and insecurity? Are we merely treating symptoms while ignoring the root causes? As a legal scholar with 2 master's degrees in Constitutional and Human Rights Law, LLM, and MSc in Criminology and Security Studies, and as a chartered arbitrator from the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, I have spent years studying the origins of crime, violent extremism, and social disorder. And for 10 good years, my team and I have successfully conducted dispute resolution, mediation, and intervention work across Nasarawa State and neighboring states. That alone ought to have meritoriously earned me at least a commissioner in Nasarawa State. But no, we still play the politics of tribe and religion. Oh, my beloved country, Nigeria. But I will not despair. As a legal research assistant to the Pro-Chancellor of Adamawa State University, MUBI, Professor Maxwell Gidado SAN, my mentor, and under the guardianship of my Lord Justice George Well Biobele, the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, the Badan Division, the chairman and the grand patron of Human Rights Research and Advocacy Forum, HURRAFORUM, respectively, I have participated in research and advocacy efforts aimed at addressing the foundation of violence and social instability in Nigeria. The conclusion remains the same, sir. The battle for Nigeria's future will either be won or lost in the minds of young persons. That is why I respectfully appeal to you directly today, Your Excellency. Please do not stop just at removing children from the streets. Take the next steps. Place UHURU Children's Rights textbook in the hands of every child, every teacher, and every parent in Abia State, and commission us at the human rights community to start training the stakeholders. Let Abia become the first state in Nigeria to deliberately educate the entire generation about their rights, duties, and civic responsibilities. We also respectfully appeal to the national chairperson of the Labour Party, distinguished Senator Denadi Osman, to partner with the compassionate First Lady of Abia State, Her Excellency Mrs. Priscilla Chidinma Otti, to champion this initiative in Abia State first, and ultimately across Nigeria, irrespective of political party affiliation. The future of Nigerian children must never become a partisan issue. We no longer have the luxury of time, Your Excellency. The bombs of ignorance, extremism, kidnapping, and violence are already exploding every day around us. What remains for us now is to diffuse those that have not yet exploded through aggressive human rights education, through aggressive child rights awareness and civic enlightenment. Like I quoted without missing words in this all-important textbook, deny a child his right today and wait for him to steal your comfort tomorrow. Today, that quote I made over a decade ago in this book is now our sad reality. And I say again without equivocating, all these other politicians, past and present, who have deliberately allowed our children to continue to roam in streets endlessly are truly the cause of insecurity in Nigeria. So let us put the culpability where it should be. But honestly, I sincerely sympathize with many first ladies across Nigeria who genuinely want to do something meaningful for children, but are often constrained by long-standing cultural practices, traditions, and misconceptions that stand in the way of progress. I remember the heartfelt word of the amiable First Lady of Abia State, Her Excellency Vincent Tenebe, telling me that she had always wanted to do more for children, but certain societal barriers, cultural practices, and misconstrued religious teachings made it difficult. That is why today I turn to you, Your Excellency, Dr. Alex Otti, you and our dear First Lady, Her Excellency Mrs. Priscilla Chidinma Otti. You have already started to show courage and compassion in this regard. You have shown that this conversation can actually be revived. A conversation about protecting and educating our children. Please allow us to help you sustain this vision through this all-important textbook, UHURU Children's Rights. You know, the greatest weapon against poverty, crime, banditry, and bad leadership is not a gun. It is an educated and enlightened child. If we teach our children their rights, their responsibilities, the value from an early age, we will save countless lives and secure the future of our nation. Your Excellency, the roads you build will serve a generation, but the minds you build will save generations yet unborn. And to every parent and guardian listening to me now, please do not leave the future of your children to chance. Visit HURRAFORUM website, download a copy of UHURU Children's Rights, and place it in the hands of your children. The Nigerian of tomorrow depends on what our children learn today. The time is now. Your Excellency, history has already begun to write your story. May it forever judge you kindly for choosing UHURU Children's Rights. And like the former Attorney General of Abia State, Chief Awa Kalu SAN, commented on the book, and I quote, "The young shall only grow when it is UHURU with the right of the child." May posterity forever remember that when the opportunity came to shape the future of Nigerian children, you acted. May God bless you, Your Excellency. May God bless Abia State, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All these, we promise our parents
and our country Nigeria
obedience,
good behavior,
and success in our lives.
UHURU, government-approved textbook in civic education. National Human Rights Commission, I like it for schools. UNICEF, National Open University of Nigeria, I recommend it. Purchase it today for your children.
Parents and guidance. UHURU Children's Rights by Uche Numes is children companion, therefore a must read for every home. Buy your copies today.